90% of people fail their New Year's resolutions. 90 out of every 100. Imagine a stadium full of people all fired up on January 1st. By February, almost all of them have quit. By the end of the year, most people feel stuck. Same bad habits, same problems, same life. Only 10% keep going and win. The question is, are you going to be like the 90% or the 10%? Because today I'll give you the exact blueprint to make sure you don't just start strong, but finish the year as one of the few who succeed. I've spent years studying productivity, habits, and goal setting, and I've tested these strategies myself. This isn't theory, this is what actually works. Here's the first reason 90% fail. Their goals are vague, boring, or forgettable. I want to be healthier. I want to save more money. I want to be happier. These aren't goals, they are wishes. Your brain needs a target, a vision, a picture so clear it pulls you forward. So here's what you do. Define your version of best year. Not society's, not your parents', yours. Grab a piece of paper and write down the 3 wins for next year. Maybe it's running a 5K by June, doubling your income, traveling to 3 new countries, repairing a broken relationship. Pick 3, no more. Because when everything is important, nothing is. But when you have 3 crystal clear wins, you have focus. And focus creates firepower. Imagine this, it's January 1st. Jake is pumped. This is my year. I'm getting fit. Fast forward 6 weeks, he's back on the couch, scrolling, feeling frustrated. Then he makes one small change. He sets a target, not a wish. 50 push-ups in one go by summer. Suddenly he has a finish line. He writes it on his wall, tracks it every week. By June, he's not guessing whether he's improving, he can see it. That's the difference clarity makes. If you want to beat the 90%, step 1 is having a vision so sharp it feels impossible to ignore. Here's the second reason people fail. They rely on willpower. But willpower is like battery life. It drains, and it drains fast. Systems don't. That's why habits beat motivation every time. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the levels of your systems. So here's what this looks like. Instead of study more, set a system. Every night at 7 p.m., 30 minutes, same place. Phone in another room. Instead of eat healthier, set a system. Meal prep 3 lunches every Sunday. You don't have to think, you just follow the system. And here's a secret tool. Environment design. If your phone is on your desk, you'll scroll. If junk food is in the kitchen, you'll eat it. But if your gym bag is packed the night before, suddenly working out becomes the easiest option. When I built personal power-ups, I didn't rely on being motivated to create. I built systems. Fixed hours to write, templates that made content faster, and a setup that made progress automatic. The 90% rely on willpower, the 10% build systems. Which side are you going to be on? Here's the third reason most people fail. They try to leap straight to the finish line. But success doesn't come from giant leaps. It comes from small, consistent wins. Research from Harvard Business School shows that nothing boosts motivation like making progress, even tiny steps forward. That's why it's so important to shrink your habit until it's impossible to fail. Want to read 30 books? Start with 1 page a night. Want to run a marathon? Start by running a couple of blocks. Want to write a book? Start with 1 sentence. These small wins snowball, and you create identity shifts. If you read 1 page a night, you start to think, well, I'm a reader. And if you do a few push-ups consistently, I'm someone who works out. Identity follows action. Let me give you an example from my own life. When I started writing, I couldn't stay consistent. I'd open a blank page, stare at a cursor, and feel that pressure to write something good. So I made it stupidly simple, just 1 sentence. And you know, some days that's all I managed. But most days, that 1 sentence opened a door. 1 line became a paragraph became a page, and over time those tiny moments of progress stacked up. That's how momentum is built, not in huge bursts, but in tiny daily wins. The 90% quit because they think small wins don't matter. The 10% know small wins are everything. Here's the final reason most people fail. They set goals in January and never look at them again. They sprint out of the gate and then drift. That's why reflection is the glue that holds your year together. I highly recommend a monthly review. It takes 10 minutes and keeps your entire year on track. I personally use 3 steps. Step 1. Reflect. Look back at your 3 wins, those 3 goals that define your best year. Ask yourself, what actually moved forward this month? What didn't, and why? Don't guess and be honest. Reflection isn't about guilt, it's about clarity. Step 2. Refine. Next, look at your systems and habits and ask which ones worked and which ones kept breaking. If a system or habit failed, simplify it. And if it worked, great, strengthen it. You're not starting over, you're upgrading your design. Step 3. Recommit. Finally, choose one clear focus for each win for the next month. One action that will create the biggest domino effect. Write it down. Make it visible. That's your mission for the next 30 days. So again, reflect, refine, recommit. 3 steps in just 10 minutes. Do this every month and your year can't drift, of course, because you'll constantly be steering it. And don't forget to celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Hit your workout streak? Celebrate it. Finish your reading goal? Celebrate it. Celebrating progress tells your brain this matters and feels good. Do more of this. The 90% never reflect. The 10% course correct. And that's why they win. So here's your formula to join the 10% who win next year. First, create a vision with 3 clear wins. Second, build systems and habits, not wishes. 3, fuel your new identity and momentum with small wins. And fourth, reflect and adjust every month. Do this and you won't just hope for a better year, you'll design it. And if you're serious about making next year your best year yet, there's one habit that makes everything else easier, the 2-minute rule. It's the fastest way I know to start any habit, beat procrastination instantly, and finally build momentum when nothing else works. I break it all down in this video right here. So if you want to lock in your success and actually follow through, that's your next step.